Similarly, there's a lot of merit to do the things that you find the most difficult. And for me, that's like the devotional thing, like bowing down to a guru or offering things to a guru. It's like, that's just terrifying. David from like 7 or 8 years ago, it's like, whoa, 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 no way whatsoever am I going to do that. I'm happy. I've always exercised. Throw me the hatha yoga because I'm a glutton for punishment. I love pain. I can deal with this. As long as there's embodiment, I'm cool. Sometimes it's those caves that we fear to enter that really do hold the treasure we seek. That was the great Joseph Campbell quote. So let us chant the Guru Avan to shirk our responsibility up to where it should be. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Well, welcome. It's great to see you all. I've gone blank. I don't even know what we're doing. It's Tuesday. We're here. We're meditating. It's Tina. It's been way too long, Tina. We see double hand waves there from Tina. So we're super excited. Rajni's got her phone with the WhatsApp group for the members. If there are questions that you want to, if there's any recordings of Swamiji's discourses that I can listen to. Yes. So that's a great one. We will share a link on the members group after the chat, and we'll take that as a nod to maybe do a bit of a recap. So I'll go through some just ashram housekeeping stuff. We've got the weekend retreat coming up this weekend. We've not been doing any marketing for the weekend retreat really that properly. So it's going to be a very small retreat. So if you know anyone who wants to come out for a retreat, we've got heaps of availability. It's going to be a very chill space. We've got some members coming back, a couple of new people. The weekend retreat is open. So if you want to check out the Grampians and just use the ashram as a base camp, please feel free to. It's a great opportunity to get a little bit of the yoga and meditation in, and then also go out exploring and enjoying yourself whilst you're out here. Our soul retreats are pretty chock-a-block. We did have one position come up for March. So we had private room come up for March. So if you know anyone who's looking for a spot in March, that's come up very last minute. Someone cancelled. They're injured and not able to make it. A couple of spots in April, and also plenty of spots for volunteers as well. So please reach out. We've had a really lovely week of getting stuck into gardens and admin and things that were
which was nice.
On the back burner for a little while. So we're feeling like the house is in order, which is really nice. We're very excited. We're going to be releasing, first we're doing a members and community meetup at Abbotsford Convent on the 4th.
On the 4th.
4th of March.
Starting at 11 a.m. and the plan would be all meet up.
Have a meditation.
Have a meditation, grab some food.
Grab some food and just very
connect,
social.
Obviously.
Yes.
I've opened it so far for past retreater and members, but I'm going to post it tomorrow to the community as well.
Okay, great.
So that people, even people who never came here, can meet us, and we can
and it'll be a nice
share.
Opportunity to get in and have a collective meditation.
I can't wait for that one. And if people can't make it on the 4th, that's the first one. So there will be some more coming up.
We're gonna get a bit regular with these things. And maybe we'll speak to why we're doing that as well in a second. The other thing that is in the pipeline for those that are interested, especially those who've been on retreat, we were kind of envisaging that the next step after the soul retreat was going to be an 8-night retreat, and it was going to be all singing and all dancing. And we realized that it's it's going to be a lot for us and also for you. 8 nights is a long time, and we feel what we're going to be doing is specializing or taking any of the things that are shared on the soul retreat and then making a retreat out of those themselves. So people will be able to find their points of resonance. So for instance, if the Hatha yoga brought you something and you want to deepen that practice, we're going to be offering a 5-day retreat. So that'll be, specifically focusing just on the Hatha yoga practice. We will be offering, Rajni's got a plan for the soul art to become a retreat. So it will be an immersive contemplative art retreat, and so on and so forth. So this is the direction that we're going to be going over there. And we envisage about one of these each quarter. So those opportunities will be there for existing members of the community and also people who've been on the soul retreat to take whatever area is of interest to them and develop that further. For those that are interested in developing the connection to Swamiji, and Amanda has shared that wish to see a discourse, we're putting together that. Swamiji shares what he does. So Swami Shiv Kripanand shares over an 8-night series of discourses, including a collective meditation. And it's a bit of a journey he takes you on. So we'll be sharing a retreat. The only 8-night retreat we'll be doing at this stage will be, essentially a televised group session, sharing Swamiji's teachings directly for those who wish to connect to him.
All translated in English?
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah, so these ones will be subtitled in English. What happened for those who were unaware, Swamiji's been in deep meditative isolation for 45 days. So he kind of locks himself away once per year. We call this Anushtan, which is like a practicum, so a deep spiritual practice. And it's an interesting time to be meditating with this practice and to be connected to him as well. So there's a lot of energy that comes out. A lot of clearances tend to happen. A lot of karma gets burned in this period. So he came out of isolation on the 18th, which is a night called Mahashivratri, which is the night of Shiva. So it's the most auspicious night in the year for spiritual practice. And many devotees of Shiva will spend all night practicing or engaged in offerings and so on. So Swamiji came out on the 18th and gave an evening discourse. And the team in India have been getting their act together, which is good. They're modernizing a little bit. And they got in a professional translator to give a live translation. So in the past, we've had everything from his daughter through to other meditators who are bilingual, who are able to translate for him. And when they do a live translation with him, it's
full on.
It's full on because he's talking and he's aware that the person is, so sometimes there'll be somebody sat next to the stage talking, and so you'll be hearing it in English and hearing it in Hindi. And he's in his flow and he doesn't like waiting for the translator. And it's a job for the people who translate.
Yeah.
What they've done now, which is hopefully a sign of what will be coming for his future discourses on the more sort of on the larger stage, they had somebody who kind of gave it UN style, with the earpiece. You couldn't hear Swamiji. You were just listening to the translator, who did a very, very good job and was able to keep the flow going. Yeah. So that was shared on the Guru Tattva YouTube channel. So for anyone who's interested in connecting to him and hearing what he was on about, feel free to do that. We'll share it, as I said, in the group later. What was the kind of synopsis of his sharing after the meditation practice?
The thing that just came up when I sat down, I have cramps in my legs, was what he said. As you meditate, you increase your soul awareness, your soul consciousness. And what it does automatically is diminish the body consciousness. It doesn't mean you push away the body, you push away the ego, but you make the soul higher than the rest. And he essentially said all pain, suffering of the body, addiction, he's like, just don't engage with it at all. As you meditate, the soul will take over, and this will just pass smoothly, instead of, you will feel it because we've got a body, but it's not going to be the big story of the day that you had that pain. And
well, and this is, I mean, in a similar regard, I think that, you know, many different practices elicit this feeling of non-attachment to physical sensation, and also to witness the narratives that get spun up by the mind. You know, I often remark when sharing about the Hatha yoga that people's mind narrative, certainly mine when I first started and was an egoic bundle of everything and tension, you know, the sorts of thoughts that would enter my head when I was in a class environment were bordering on ridiculous. Like, you know, literally I would sit there thinking, like, this is unfair that they're holding us here this long. Like, who does this person think they are? You know, like, this is nonsense. And, you know, so I'd have distracted thoughts through to, you know, guarding against the ego. And this practice of Samapan is it's been around a while, and there's many different traditions that gesture towards the same thing, which is to step away, to witness that response and make the decision to not engage and to be absorbed in something else. And that something else to be absorbed in is the deeper self or soul. And, you know, like Tara, our daughter, is screaming in the room next to us, and I watch the part of me that wants to tell a little girl to shut up, and because it's an unpleasant sensation. And then I watch that other part of me that, when cultivated, comes to the fore and allows it. I don't try to stop the sound. I don't try and throttle the little girl, certainly not. But instead of my energy and my mind being with the tension of the frustration, there's a sense of permissiveness and allowance. And that reabsorption back into the soul doesn't get rid of the screaming baby. She's still there screaming, but the relationship and attitude towards it has changed.
So basically, it increases your tolerance to discomfort. That's how I can sum it up.
And Hatha yoga just brings you a whole heap of discomfort. So it's like kind of throwing fuel onto the fire to make sure that if you were comfortable, we're going to find somewhere you're not comfortable, and it will keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you. And so what I've experienced more recently, after spending a week with Sundarnath, my guru, and also going deeper into his latest teaching and also the source texts on which they are based, is that this gesture of Samapan, which we kind of, you know, obviously passionately bash people with, like it's the club we beat everyone with when they come out here. It's like surrender to surrender, surrender. And it's really, really easy to go like, it's not sophisticated, it's not good enough, it's not like, where's all the technical knowledge, where's all... I have that part in me, trust me. I want all of the fancy bells and whistles. But there's a reason why we stick to that, and why in our own personal practice, we end up at that place of surrender again and again and again. It's because that is what all of the other practices lead you up to in the end anyway. You know, most beautifully put in, so the tradition with the Nath yogins, so I share practice from the shadow yoga school, but the head guru and teacher in that school, Sundarnath, he's initiated in the Nath Sampradaya. Nath means Lord. And one of the modern or the modern resurgence of the Nath lineage can be attributed to Gorakshanath, who was a 10th or 9th or 10th century guru who was, attributed to living in many different places. I think people claimed him everywhere. He was pretty, by all accounts, an enlightened master. And he wrote one of his treatises, the Siddha Siddhanta Padati. And you go through this entire volume of complex practice that is initiated and given in 12-year increments. So not here's a 30-minute meditation. It's like, here's something, go away for 12 years, and so he lays out a very elaborate path and the conditions that must be met in order to be accomplished, essentially, a siddha, an adept, right? You must know the influence of the moon. You must know the influence of all of the winds, the vital winds in the body. You must have restrained this. These gestures or seals must be accomplished for you to be complete. And then in the last chapter of the book, he goes, not even all of that can save you. There's only one thing that can save you, and that is to receive this from a guru. At the feet of the guru, you'll find everything. And so when you look closely at and look, I'm scratching the surface with this thing. I don't want to profess to be something I'm not. But when you go through a path that is laid out for you, it's like saying, you go through kindergarten, go through primary school, go through high school, go to university, get a bachelor degree, come back, do your master's. Actually, we're going to make you do a PhD. And then, hey, everything was available from your parents right at the start. All of this was nothing. And so, hidden inside of that beautiful text is an acknowledgement that surrender is
that's the last.
It's the last step.
And the step beyond.
And for those people who feel that they need to have taken every step on the mountain, that path is there so that you can continue to walk up this journey to get to that final destination. But the thing that links the first step and the last step is that act of surrender. You've got to let go of the first step to take the second, and let go of the second to take the third. So what Swamiji shares via the Himalayan meditation practice is something that can accompany you right the way through your journey, uniquely in your own life to whatever the things are that are resonant with your being. And each of us has a kind of a disposition, a natural inclination, things that we find resonance with. And those are often very useful things to lean into, to kind of strengthen the strengths, so to speak. So if you've got a natural inclination for a moving and an embodied practice, the Hatha Yoga is something great, because it will take your natural interest of bodily movement and maybe moving with the energy, dancing, and you will cultivate the energy and cultivate your awareness of self through that art. Similarly, there's a lot of merit to do the things that you find the most difficult. And for me, that's like the devotional thing, like bowing down to a guru or offering things to a guru. It's like, that's just terrifying. David from like 7 or 8 years ago, it's like, whoa, no way whatsoever am I going to do that. I'm happy. I've always exercised. Throw me the Hatha Yoga because I'm a glutton for punishment. I love pain. I can deal with this. As long as there's embodiment, I'm cool. Sometimes it's those caves that we fear to enter that really do hold the treasure we seek. That was the great Joseph Campbell quote. So with what we're going to be offering in the next year of courses, of retreats, you might find, like, God, if you're creatively stunted and you haven't picked up a pencil since high school, but when you came here and you did a bit of the soul art, it brought you something, like lean into the soul art retreat that Rajni is going to be running. You know, if you found that the bodily stuff, you're happy sitting in meditation, you're just kind of not interested in the bodily stuff, potentially lean into the Hatha yoga too, because those are going to surface and elicit your obstructions much quicker. Now, Sundarnath is very, very fond of praising the stiff people. He loves stiff students because there's something to work with there. The people who are gymnasts or did calisthenics as a kid and they've got natural availability, they can whack their leg into any shape and there's no feeling whatsoever. The energy doesn't flow. The body just goes naturally into the shape and there's not much to be said. That's not really the yoga, right? So stiff people often require, often benefit or receive a huge amount from that softening into the body. Now, we've also had someone, Tina, talking about the mountain yoga practice and walking in nature, and that's definitely on the cards as well, to make the focus. That's, like the soul art and the mountain yoga are kind of our unique Kailash offerings that are emerging from our own study and our own relationship with the land. So, we would definitely see that there's an opportunity to enhance that knowledge of the elements of nature, and really form a deep relationship with them whilst here over 5 days.
Really excited for this.
Yeah. I mean, this is my Aries ascendant. I think we can start a lot of things, but we're probably going to lock away, like Rajni doing a soul art. I'll put a Hatha yoga one because I know that there's a bunch of people who are interested to go deeper with the Hatha yoga. And I'd love to, cooking as well. Yeah, that's being thrown up there. Yeah. We need ashram food retreat. Yeah. I'll be the taster. So, lean into the comforts, but also don't be afraid of those things that you have resistance to. Those are sometimes why we lean into our strength. Why did I lean into my strengths with the body? I was having a conversation with Rashan, a 16-year-old, earlier this evening. Why did I lean into the body at 15 years old? Because I had a bunch of acne and I had no confidence. And I thought if I could get massive in the gym, that I would be kind of a confident young man. Was good, maybe not the most healthy relationship with self was formed there. So what was actually compelling me to engage in that sort of that practice that I had an inclination to wasn't the soul. It was a desire to stoke my own ego to feel good about myself. And as we're fond of saying, you're not going to get like a gold star at the end of meditation if you did it better than somebody else. We're never going to know. Like, no one's there to externally reward you with any of these practices. The inner reward is often felt, learning to sing in front of people. That's brought me probably way more than leaning into something that I'm kind of good at already. Going into an area of actual vulnerability to confront some part of myself that is easy to hide. It's much more difficult. So say the relationship to the body hasn't been great for like 30 years, right? And you're carrying a bit more fat than you wanted to. And the structure isn't so there and the shoulders are up tight. And you go, I am terrified by getting into this body because I've been punishing it. Like, okay, well, your self relationship stands to be really reformed through a Hatha yoga practice. Whether or not you drop kilos or not, that's kind of irrelevant. What we're about here at the ashram is enhancing the relationship to self, which is somewhere between, not just completely forgiving ourselves. Oh, it's all good, it's everything, and not chastising ourselves. It's it's a middle path of being real. Oh yeah. It was definitely emotions that were causing the eating, and the emotions have got their source somewhere. And now the thing is how it is. Do I want it to continue? Well, do I want to actually be done? The deeper question is, do I want to be done with those emotions that led to the situation in the first place? And so, when I see manifestation of injury in my own body, it's easy to want the body to be fixed, but it's a much harder thing to deal with the temperament that enabled me to get hurt. And this is where the self relationship is our primary drive here. We're not here to turn people into accomplished masters in any of the things that we're going to offer people, because we ourselves, we're not accomplished masters. We're accomplished humans. We're humans. There's accomplishment in the inner essence of the soul. And that's what we hope our offerings, and indeed what these practices have revealed to us, is a sense of cultivation of soul rather than cultivation of body or intellectual prowess.
And in the end, sitting for meditation and not having to do anything is what trigger many people, including me at the beginning. It's because I'm exposing myself to something I don't know. It's higher, it's beyond, and I don't know. I can't, if I start wanting it to be a certain way, I'm just working the mind here and I'm doing meditation. If I sit for meditation and allow things to come up and allow whatever message to be received, that's where I think it's an amazing practice, because it just connects you with something that is beyond, that is wider than what I can comprehend. And that's in a way triggering, because you don't know what's going to come up. You don't know which part of your body will get triggered. You don't know what it's going to bring, really. There's no control on it. And that's what we call surrender in the end. That moment where you're like, I have no clue, I'm going to sit now, and I don't know what's going to happen. And if one was good today and tomorrow I still don't know what's going to happen. And it's having this kind of, it's being brave and sit again and sit again and sit again and see the benefit.
And and as she said that, I see myself kind of like excited for the meditation in 3 minutes, right? So like this is, we're not going to give you a new practice on Tuesday night ever. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get beaten with the same club. And we share this stuff for a living, but I listened to Rajni speak for a few minutes about her passion of sitting for the unexpected. And it builds my excitement. It's very infectious. It's contagious. And so for those who are interested, and there was a great ask from Amanda regarding Swamiji's translated discourses. He's like the most passionate guy about this thing ever. And that passion has just lit Rajni and my passion for it too. So that position of the guru in India is just there as we know, like he bashed us with the same message. He's like, if you keep coming back to me, it means that you didn't understand the message. And it's like, but we keep going back for a reason, because the nature of life is that it makes you forget. We don't remember everything. We remember important things. Sometimes we remember painful things, and sometimes we remember completely irrelevant things. Lots of Simpsons quotes for me. But when you find someone or something or some place that makes you remember to let go and surrender, then that thing, you keep going to it to remind yourself when you forget. Now, we were very selfish in the fact that we got to a place where we wanted a permanent reminder in our life. So we started an ashram. Like what you can do at home, this is why we encourage people to make that space for them where they go to remember to surrender. That's it. That's what meditation is. It's a little part of your day to remember that very simple thing. But how difficult it is to do that, because to sit before the unexpected is genuinely terrifying. Like it's confronting physically, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. it's much easier to resort to a place of comfort and security and stability inside of something that you know or that you have to do. And well, we're going to sit. We're going to sit before that crazy thing called whatever your soul is, and we'll sit as a bunch of souls. And Tina, thank you for the thank yous. Great to see your face. I'm going to grab a bowl.
I'm very happy to see everyone.
Yeah, beautiful to
joining.
see you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. It means.
And keep in touch, please, through WhatsApp, through Facebook. Any question, anything that comes up, any good idea. We're super excited to receive those each time.
Yes, and apologies for those who are hanging for a YouTube. I will get onto some video editing this week and get some of the last couple of weeks back up. And but it's always better live. So we'll have our silent exit and send you all of the love now. So great to see you all, and we'll hopefully see you out here soon or back in this beautiful space. So finding your comfortable seat.